Hey everybody, it is your boy NCO7 here. Welcome to another review video. Today I'm going to be reviewing Kirby and the Forgotten Land for the Switch. This game came out very recently and is the first big 3D Kirby game. Technically there were earlier games, but this is the first true 3D game in the series. And does it hold up? Is it really good? Or is it really bad? Well, spoiler alert, it's really good, but let's dissect the game, starting off with the presentation. Now, as I just mentioned, this is the first true 3D Kirby game in the series, and while the game is 3D, there's really not a lot of differences between this game and past Kirby games. You run around stages, you inhale enemies, you suck on them, you get their copy abilities, and then you run through the stages, you collect various collectibles, and that's pretty much it. I mean, Kirby is a very simple concept to grasp. The thing is, though, now is that it's in 3D, and thus it can be a little bit more interesting. And honestly, who didn't want it? I mean, everybody was wondering where the hell a 3D Kirby game has been for a very long time. Because, seriously, we never got one beforehand, so of course the concept was going to make a lot of people happy, myself included. And let's talk about the visuals and the performance. This game, performance-wise, is alright. It only runs at 30 FPS, though, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's not that big of a deal. It's really just a nitpick. But this game is gorgeous. Holy God, I love running around. Seriously, it's not like Super Mario 3D World, where it's just random platforms that you jump on in this, just random place in Nowheresville. And while technically this game is set in Nowheresville, it feels like a place that actually was once lived in. Because you're not just running on these platforms, you're running through these grass fields of some abandoned city. Or you're going through an abandoned amusement park. Or you're going through this icy city that may have been deserted a long time ago because of how cold it was. It's so good. The variety and the visuals are really nice. And it's not just that the game looks good, it's the fact that it looks artistic. It's so good. There's so much attention to detail with the visuals. It tells a story. And I think that's what I'll say about the visuals. That's how good I'd say the visuals are, is that they tell a story. They don't just put text on the screen that tells you what's going on. You can see what's going on for yourself based on the environments. So yeah, Kirby the Forgotten Land is easily a really good looking game. Possibly one of the best looking Kirby games ever made, though there is Epic Yarn. And in the Rainbow Curse, which also looks quite good, but that game's kind of not that good. But anyways, moving on to the stories for the game. Now, I'm not going to talk about the story in really in depth, but essentially Kirby and his friends get sucked into Nowheresville, I guess I'll call it. And he meets up with this blue creature thing called Elephilin. Probably got that wrong because I can't say his name right. And there's a bunch of Waddle Dees that are being captured, and, well, being the hero, you save them. Now, that's the basic story of the game. However, there is a lot more to it because of one thing I'll get into in a little bit, because that's gameplay oriented. But honestly, the story's pretty good, actually. And I will say, definitely in the latter part of the game, the last stage drops a lot of cool lore on you. It's really good. Overall, the story is nothing that special, but I think it's really solid for this game. It's really good. But enough about the story. How's the gameplay? Well, the gameplay is superb. I love it a bunch. It's so good. It's basically Kirby's Return to Dreamland, or Kirby Star Allies, I guess, but in 3D. And with no helper function. That's pretty much how I describe it. It's just basically Kirby, the formulaic Kirby, in 3D. There's really nothing that unique compared to the other games. There's no Robobot armor. There's no huge sucking abilities. I mean, there are technically these new abilities that allow you to transform into a car or a cone or a ring or whatnot. But those are more so side sort of things. They're not advertised on the box art. Absolutely not. So there's not really that big gimmick. Because technically the main gimmick is that it's in 3D. And oh me, oh my, it is really good. Seriously, these stages are so well designed. It's just so good. Like I mentioned before, you're exploring these real places, and that the levels are so well designed to hold secrets and all that jazz, and have these really cool little things you can do, because of the fact that because obviously collectible wise are the Waddle Dees. You save the Waddle Dees and they can be all in various different places. Usually there's like 4 or so that you can save. However, there's also Waddle Dees you can rescue by completing certain tasks on levels. Like some levels, you may have to destroy some snow structures. So that brings a new challenge. Find all the snow structures in a level and burn them down, melt them down. It's stuff like that I really, really like. It really shows how good they are at the level design, in my opinion. It's just so goddamn good. And I also love the hub world as well. Waddle Dee Town is so cool because it opens up more and more the more Waddle Dees you get. At first it starts off as a complete desert town, like deserted, but it grows more and more. I love when games do this. I love when they grow more and more. I love that. I absolutely love building the world. I love that in games. And they did that really well here. And going on to the collectibles, there is actually one more collectible that I'm going to talk about. And those are the figures you can collect. So kind of like Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, you can pick up these random things in levels that contain figures. Or figurines, I guess. I don't know. Now, the reason I didn't mention these figures before is because of the fact that these figures are really cool, and you can see the models of the characters. They have little blurbs that can tell you a little bit about them. And this is where we kind of go back to the story a little bit, in the sense that what makes this game more deep are these figures, because these figures add just a little bit more lore to the world. They add just enough to make you think, it gives you a little bit of an insight on how they'd act or how they are in this world. It gives the world a lot more flavor and character, which I really, really like. The world just feels so alive, even despite it being forgotten some time ago. But I'm getting off track. Gameplay-wise, it is absolutely superb and no control issues whatsoever. So, let's move on to the content for the game. Now, you can beat the game in probably 8 hours, maybe 10 hours. It's not really that long of a game, but it's longer than Star Allies, I'll say that for sure. But the thing is, there's a lot more to do. Like I mentioned before, you can collect all the Waddle Dees, you can collect all the figures, but there's also stuff you can do in Waddle Dee Town. Like, there's some mini games you can play. Like, there's one mini game where you have to choose, like a Waddle Dee's correct order. Like, you have like 2 items, and you have to choose the right item for the Waddle Dee's order. And you have to do it really quickly. I really like that one. There's also one that takes advantage of the motion controls, or gyro controls, I guess in this case, with like a tilt-a-whirl, where you like tilt this board and you try and get the ball into the middle, the ball being Kirby. And there's even like a fishing minigame, because why not? Every game needs a fishing minigame nowadays. But honestly though, like content-wise, there's really not much I have to say that's bad. Yes, the game's $60, but it's solid. It's so goddamn good. I don't have any complaints about it. And regarding the music, it's okay. I won't lie, the music isn't as catchy as some of the earlier games, but it still has some really good tunes. I really like the main theme for the game. It's really, really solid. But honestly, the music in the game is probably the worst part, I would say. But that's really saying a lot, because the rest of the game is just fantastic. But the music's pretty good, though, as well, though nothing that memorable. And now on to my final thoughts. This game is super duper good, and I was thinking for a while, just where would I put this game on like a Kirby tier list? Now, I am going to do a Kirby games tier list soon, and it may differ from when I make this video, but honestly, where it stands right now, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is easily my top 5 Kirby games ever. Heck, it could almost be my top 3 Kirby games ever, because This game, like, it's nothing, you wouldn't think it's anything that special, but it's so well designed, and it's so much fun. It's just so much fun. It's eye candy. The game is beautiful to look at. The game is so well designed. It's not too easy, and it's not too hard, and it's just the right balance. It's fun as hell. I mean, do I really need to say anything else? This might, without a doubt, be one of the best 3D platformers that Nintendo's made in a long, long time. As in the since Odyssey came out, Mario Odyssey. Seriously, Kirby and the Forgotten Land is an absolute must for Switch owners. If you're a Kirby fan, you probably already bought this game, but if you haven't, well, you need to play the freaking demo. Seriously, play the demo. If you're a little on the fence about it, just play the demo and see if that gets you interested. Okay. But anyways, on my scale of 0 to 10, I give Kirby and the Forgotten Land a solid 9 out of 10. While I don't think the game is necessarily perfect, I don't really have any complaints with this game. Seriously, the only complaints I really have are some very minor nitpicks, like the game being only at 30 FPS, or in Kirby's house, when you can look through the previous adventures segment, why are there only the 3DS, Wii U, and Switch games? Why not all the Kirby games? But seriously, that's like all I can really think of. Or maybe you could build a town a little bit more. I think that'd be cool. And I mean, as some people might argue that it's like, oh, but it's level structured. It's not like an open world like Mario Odyssey or anything like that. And like, I get it, but the levels are so well designed that I couldn't care less at all. I honestly, they could do that in a future game. I don't care. But anyways, those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. And like this video and subscribe if you like to listen to me ramble about why this game is really good. And I also say this right now, out of the 2022 games that I've played so far this year, this is easily the best game I have played. And honestly, if there isn't much competition for the rest of the year, this could very well be my game of the year. Just saying right now. I don't know if that's going to actually happen. We'll just have to wait and find out. But anyways, let me know what you think of the game in the comments below, and stay tuned for more videos. And I will be doing that Kirby Games tier list sometime in April. I don't know when. But anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Take care.